process in my work sometimes depends what type of technique I'm gonna use or what is the subject matter. I used to have a little idea at first on exactly what I want to work with. I mentioned before that I'm been working with human reality, human being stuff happening in our society. For some reason that subject matter grabbed my attention, and I have a couple of years working in this specific subject matter. However, I used to build an idea in my mind, lay around, do some sketches. Actually, there is a part of improvisation, it is right to say, because the idea that I had at first turned in another way. So I like to play exactly with whatever I have in hands at this time, and keep working with the main idea and develop a very nice piece of artwork. Graduated in 1997 as a visual artist, as a graphic designer at this time, where the computer was really hard to work with because, not everybody can afford, couldn't afford that type of thing. 1997 in Dominican Republic. So we find out a way to develop a piece of artwork with whatever you have in hands. That's actually the reason I used to combine a lot of things by recycling stuff, paper, sand, many different things. So I put in a canvas and I threw a lot of colors in there. It's elements actually you can see through all my work. On other hand, I used to work in abstract art style, but it's very powerful things. What I used to work in an impressionism, and also if I combine two different art style, abstractionism and impressionism at the same time, I'm very satisfied with it as a result of whatever I done. I used to work, it doesn't matter the media actually. It could be a drawing like this one, it could be a acrylic and an oil as this one. I used to experiment with a few things at the same time, and actually, as I mentioned, combining two different art style. I'm really happy as a result of whatever I done before, and there is many people who used to point to a specific style. I'm kind of open with that. I'm very free with that. But always there is a type of symbolism, full of symbolism behind my artwork. So just I got sometimes a question when people like to know why I use certain type of colors or all of the colors at the same time in one piece. And I thinking for some reason all of these colors, I carry all of these colors in my mind, in my soul. Maybe because the land where I grew up, the Caribbean, of course we don't have winter time, there's always a sunshine. It's a really nice weather over there. And I take it maybe an excuse to play with those colors because it's part of my life. I love it. I really love it the way colors, all of the colors together turns in one piece. Sometimes I got the freedom to create or to play with different chemicals, or using oil or using acrylic at the same time also. You can see, you can feel actually there is something going. So it's pretty interesting, and I enjoy it for real. A new piece of my artwork. This is one of my recent artwork. The concept is very spiritual. It's very emotional. It is right to say, and you can tell if you see some of my artwork before. You don't see faces. You don't see details, eyes, mouth, because what I'm thinking is basically it could be happen with somebody. Could be you, could be me, could be somebody else, my sister. So the situation in human life is about the same for all of us. And of course, colorful piece. You can see texture, of course, is another little piece of item that I used to carry, combining different stuff in a piece of canvas. I got a few other stuff that I really love to do also. There is a certain time when I used to work in abstractionism. This is a little example of the one that I done before. Maybe it's not too much to say right away, but what I want is actually to engage with the piece, so have a chance to go through the whole piece and actually have a kind of conversation in between all of these elements, all of these colors, all of the shapes. You may have to the end really good things right after you see all of this stuff that I want to share with the rest of the audience. There is always something, maybe a cultural thing that I used to display, that I used to done in my pieces. That one has a combination of African, Caribbean manifestation, has an historical things in my land country that happen, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, all over the rest of the little islands, and actually in Latin America. So who I am is always a little piece of who I am in those pieces. There is here type of manifestation, celebration, African Caribbean celebration that I really love because it's a piece of me. There is also kind of indigenous calligraphy here. For historical thing happened in the Caribbean, the indigenous, the Arahuacos, the way that we name it, just been disappeared since 2 years later, right after the European arrived to the Hispaniola. So there is always a way to remind them. There is a way to remind them. So I try to come up with an idea. All of this stuff that draw in a cave. It's kind of abstract artwork, but has a meaningful, very powerful meaning behind that. Of course, showing exactly who we are. Another thing is actually is pointing more to the human reality, to the human things happening between us. What I'm thinking is basically artists actually play a type of role in our society. So it doesn't mean that we need to come up with a powerful tool to change the whole world, because everybody is different, of course. But at least to address a certain type of situation in our society, and it always worries me when politicians try to drive situation their own way. So if I work in a piece of painting, actually I can tell a little story, whatever is happening at that time. So I use artwork, I use painting, I use it doesn't matter the media, it doesn't matter what I'm working. I use my artwork actually to address and to tell big messages to the rest of the world. I've been working in art for a few years, formally 23 years in a row right after I have graduated in Dominican Republic as a visual artist. But I remember taking from my childhood memory, being, working in drawings, simple drawings, and sharing with some students at school. You know, art was like behind me, and actually what I'm thinking is I have the gift to burn as an artist. And later on, it was a big challenge because nobody in Dominican Republic has the opportunity to attend school because political and economical situation and as a part of the whole thing happening in Latin America. So later on, by attending the university, I have the opportunity to develop a few things, and I just pushing a little bit more to come out with a really nice piece of artwork with whatever I have in hands. It was actually very expensive, all of the supplies that we need to work in art, and as a part of the challenge, of course. But my father, for example, support little by little that type of thing, even though he was regrets. I mean, I supposed to be working as an attorney, as a doctor. He expected me to be a big engineer or something like that. But art is my passion. I'm no regrets. I have a lot of things that I've been doing that I satisfied myself being an artist. And as when I came to the United States, it was like a big door open in which I find out a lot of help and a lot of a path, in which I drop my stuff, and people were willing to help me out, and for example, some local galleries who helping me a lot to develop a really nice exhibition here. I've been working right after with a lot of local agency, as at the Hispanic Center, Girl Scouts, at Steepletown. So there is a lot of agency who I've been working using art. This is as a therapy to help those people, for example, the teenagers from the gang, or help people who have been through some a specific problem. So art is actually a very powerful tool that I use, even myself. Later on, I've come up with an idea to develop the Caribbean Coalition for the Art and Culture West Michigan, in which we celebrate every year the Caribbean culture in West Michigan. So we have artists from all over the Caribbean: Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti. We have people from Jamaica, and we all together develop a really nice cultural thing in Grand Rapids. And it's gonna be this. The last year was the third edition. We're still working to make it better and bigger. And art, of course, should be one of the main elements that we chose and we share with the rest of the population in here. In another hands, actually, I developed another project that I named it Diagonal Alley. It was a combination of art, music, and dance. So in which people can, we developed a couple of projects together using all of these elements in one. So as you see, I've been working in many different directions, but art is actually the main thing that I used to carry in my soul. Talking about plans, I have a lot of things in mind. I have a lot of things that I've been working and working some new project. One important thing for me right now is because I like to have my artwork out of the United States. I think this is the right moment to export my artwork in another big cities. For example, Europe. I'm talking about French. I'm talking about Spain. So maybe pretty soon we have good news about that point. I have a local project is still going. I mentioned already the Caribbean Coalition for the Art and Culture. We would like to have, as a president, I would like to have a big house, open house for everybody, not just for Caribbean population in town, in which we have a lot of classes, a lot of workshop for them, for those who can afford to go to the university, learn how to play drums, learn how to paint, learn how to dance. This is one of my goals for now. Another good things is actually a couple of big projects that I got carried since I came to the United States. Involve all of the population. I mean, it could be Latino, it could be people from Africa, it could be people from Bosnia, from China. So celebrating culture all together. This is another good thing that I like.